You had a friend breakie?
Yeah, this is some tea. Basically, it was a friendship of 3 for like years and years and years, like BFFs. One of them ended up, long story short, hacker. Was hacking the other friend.
Hacking?
Hacking.
Computer hacking.
Computer hacking.
Clickety-clack.
Like for financial gain, or I don't understand.
Or
secrets?
You know, like catfish accounts. And I don't have closure.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my interim producer, Lily Christie, and our wonderful guest today, Samara Bradley, LA-based musician, producer, composer, and performer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. Lily wrote here that you're a global rep for Converse shoes. What's the deal?
So they hit me up on Instagram in like 2019 for this program called Converse X. And I thought it was a scam. And I was like, there's no way. They DM'd me on Instagram and I was like, there's no way.
Were they like, you got to DM this other account?
No,
it
came from underscore Converse underscore X underscore. And so I was like, there's absolutely no way.
No verified, nothing?
No, and private account. So yeah, so I was like, but I was like, what if? Because it was like, oh, we're having an event. We would like you to be a part of this, whatever. And I was like, you know what? Let's just see. And it was legit. And then they that year, that was when I started really working with them. I did a campaign where we did like photo shoots for one of Tyler the Creator's shoes. And
oh my God.
Flognon, like wearing the shoes before they came out. Like it was really fun. And then this year I did after COVID, they started to do more stuff in the United States. And I did photo shoots with them and legit photo shoots. I'm on their website now. So
wow.
I have so many pairs of Converse. I had 2 before this. Now I have 20.
Hell yeah, they're good shoes.
And the new ones are comfortable. So and everyone there is so nice. All the people, the other models I've met and it's a bunch of artists.
Yeah.
They're all so cool. And then the actual staff who work for Converse are also amazing. So yeah.
Hey, well, I just got some free product placement. You know, personally, I'm a Hoka guy. That's because I'm an old man. But so this is interesting. I guess I feel really stupid right now. You've gained a heavy following on TikTok for your covers of songs in Simlish.
Yeah.
Is this the language of The Sims? No.
It is.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Darby Fluby.
I don't even know what to say right now. Is there defined Simlish beyond what you've defined it, or is it just?
Well, there are some words that mean things that you'll hear, like sol is like hello, dag, goodbye.
Dag, yeah.
Nubu is baby. You know, there are things that you'll hear in all of the Sims games that just come back. However, I make it up for my video. It's all made up just based off of what I think it would sound like.
Right.
I think from what I've heard from listening to the voice actors and stuff, a majority of it is made up. They do have a dictionary, but I think most of it's just,
I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing that that's something that you were able to create, transcribe, and put down, because I always just assumed there had to been some kind of like you were mentioning, a dictionary, a global translation.
That's what I
of
thought.
The Sims.
Yeah, because they have, they have songs in the game, real people song. In 5th grade, I learned that Ali and AJ chemicals react in Simlish, and that's I think what started this whole thing. Is in 5th grade, me memorizing this and going up to people in the hallway and being like, "Guess what I know."
Guess what I made my personality about?
Yeah, exactly. But then I was like, what? Because it was I stopped working. I worked 60 hours a week, and then I went from that to nothing. And I was like, okay, I hated that. What can I do online? And I was like, what is the weirdest thing, most niche thing that no one else is doing? And I was like, of course, Simlish.
So, but you were a musician at that point. So you had a day job.
Yeah.
You had a day job.
Well, I wouldn't call music
Oh, you were working 60 hours a week at music?
No. Oh, no. Yeah. You're right. I was working at a salon and at CalArts, the school I went to. So it was just a lot of hours.
So then you were like, you're like, I'm going to focus on being a musician.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you kind of had some time. So, okay, but this is great. And you're blowing up on TikTok. And but you also are a conventional musician. Not
Yeah.
that this isn't conventional in a way, but so this is a way for you to get a lot of traction. And are the Simlish tunes their covers?
Yeah, most of them.
Which is kind of classic, right? Because musicians all have to do covers. It's like part of the grind of being a musician, right? So then are you split like 50-50 on the Simlish covers and your original tracks, or what's your...
I try to keep it 50-50. Sometimes I get lazy, at least on TikTok, and I'll just only do the Simlish, but I'm trying, like, especially if I'm having a busy week, then I try to prioritize that because I know people will engage with it.
Yeah.
And then I throw in like some of my own music here and there. Because a lot of times they like, I feel like most of my audience came from TikTok, like the people who are actually listening to my songs. But yeah, I really do try to keep it 50-50.
Do you, I mean, one artist I think about is the Dance Monkey Girl. You guys know Dance Monkey? It's such an embarrassing song to like.
It played on the radio a lot a few years ago.
Yeah, no, it was a ridiculous hit.
I don't think I know this.
And
it's not a good song.
I'm sure you've heard. You know what?
I may have heard
I'd
it.
appreciate you not.
I don't find it to be a good song.
It's a fucking banger. It's a objective banger. Do not talk shit about Dance Monkey. It's the thing about it is it's this Australian. You know, she wrote this song and it was about being a street performer and that people would talk like, you know, they kind of treat you like an asshole,
right?
You know, and so it's like Dance Monkey, right? Because she's the monkey. But anyway, it was a mega hit. Oh, what hits did you write that went crazy billion YouTube plays? Lily, did you have one like that?
So does commercial hit make it a great song?
Yeah, it's a fucking
that's
bop.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on. But
it's
okay,
the exit music today.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll get sued or bring it out. But she's actually very litigious. No. But yeah, no, I guess I'm curious, like, have you had any breakout hits of your own songs, or like, yeah, what is your take on that?
Definitely not. However, I feel like, you know, having a song hit like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 streams is a big deal for me because I am a small artist.
I'm so happy you said that because I didn't know what kind of range would be good. That's okay. So on Spotify, we're talking.
On Spotify. And then, you know, of course there's Apple, but I feel like Spotify, even though I use Apple Music, most people use Spotify.
You use Apple Music?
It's because I'm on a family plan.
I use Apple Music,
but
too.
I also like Apple Music better.
I tried to like Apple Music, and I honestly, I feel like it's a torture device.
I feel the same way about Spotify.
Really?
Yeah, like I can't navigate it.
I got no music discovery on Apple Music.
Interesting.
You can do browse.
And they do the
It's horrible.
The where it keeps playing similar music.
Yes.
I do that a lot. Yeah. But
2 hours later. In conclusion, Spotify is more popular.
Yes.
And if anybody says one more bad thing about Dance Monkey. No. Okay. So 4,000 is really good. Now, but have you had your songs hit on TikTok? What's like a nice TikTok? Or is that more difficult to do?
It's more difficult because it's like, you know, people using the song as a background. Like I haven't had much in that, but you know, people will be like, oh, what is this? Can I find it on Spotify? And then I'll be like, yeah, link my bio or something like that. So it's like, I feel like, you know, it is good to have your songs used on TikTok, but it also like in terms of payment, it like, I think it's like,
pennies,
like a penny, like every 1,000. So you know, something crazy like that.
But so you're following that because you have the sponsorship, so you have engagement on Instagram. I'm guessing, right, from Converse.
Yeah.
So and that's because you're a model though as well.
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Yeah, here and there.
That's smart. I should be a model.
You
Like it's that
should.
simple. Okay, that's really interesting. So okay, and then you produce your own music, or you have a band, or
I write and play everything myself.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's too much, but that's what I do.
Yeah. No, I feel bad. I haven't heard your music yet. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I haven't listened to the podcast, so I also didn't do my homework.
Oh my god! Thank God. What a relief. That would be so bad if there was a big asymmetry. Okay, Lily, you wrote some questions here.
All right. Look, so you've mentioned before in a couple interviews that you have been met with some contention from your family in terms of becoming a musician. So you moved here from the East Coast, like you're from Philadelphia originally. Was that just like you're telling them your dreams, you're telling them your plans? They've watched you like train in jazz and already be a musician.
Yeah, I was already performing there.
Okay, yeah. Yep. So talk about that. How did that make you feel?
It was honestly, it was frustrating. Like I didn't even it wasn't like I was like, oh man, maybe they're right. I was just like, shut up. Like The first thing that happened, because thankfully my parents are both musicians, so I didn't have it coming from that side, which was very nice.
That is so juicy.
Yeah, that was and I know very fortunate because a lot of people like, I went to school with had their parents who were like, you need to be a doctor or whatever. But
they're
for
like,
me,
if you're a fucking doctor,
yeah,
you are
literally,
not welcome
it's
in
like
this home.
you cannot go to law school.
We're just
so like giving you a violin.
We saw her with the LSAT book, and we just don't know. She's going down a dark path.
Right. But the first thing that happened was a family member was like, yeah, so if you move to California and try to do music, you're going to be just end up working at a restaurant and be really like sad. Jesus. And I'm like, first of all, like there's nothing wrong with working at a restaurant, but I would like to note that I have actually never worked at a restaurant.
Hell yeah.
So in some way, I mean, granted, I do not have a job right now,
Privilege
but
check.
however, I have not worked at a restaurant. So she is wrong. And then this other married into the family member was like, I overheard him laughing about me on the phone to like a friend of his, like was like, oh, she moved to California to do music. We'll see about that. And I was like, first of all, I'm upstairs.
Like,
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
These people don't have lives.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I thought. I was like, I'm sorry something in your life didn't work out and that you didn't have like the guts to do what you actually want to do.
Yes, no, quite literally.
Yeah.
When I was working at a restaurant when I got my letter from CalArts, like I got the little email or whatever. So obviously I was excited because I got in because I wanted to go there. And a regular at the bar, like my coworkers were like, yay, like we're so happy for you and hugging me. And he just went, you'll be back. And I'm like,
it's so
bruh,
sad.
I just got in.
Also,
let me live.
What's the problem with working? Why is everyone hating on working at a restaurant?
Why is everyone hating working at a restaurant? And he said, like, he's like, my son, like, he wanted to be an actor and then he became a lawyer. I'm like, oh, then he never wanted to be an actor because
literally,
like, that's two completely different skill sets.
Because people always are like, oh, well, what's your plan B? And I'm like, I don't have another option.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
You're all in.
Yeah. Like, and
well, you got the musician parents. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a source of support for you? I would think.
I mean, it's just nice to not like, because I have a lot of friends who their parents like really do not like the fact that they do music. And then it like, they feel, I mean, granted, I'm not the person to be like, oh, I'm disappointing my family. But like a lot of people are. And I know that causes a lot of stress for people. But like, I've thankfully never had to deal with that kind of worry in the back of my head of like, if I fail, which I don't really believe it is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think failing, like it's like, I saw something, I was like, someone's like, I'm striving to be a musician. I'm like, if you're a musician, you're already a musician. Like,
yes.
I don't think there's like making it or anything. It's like, I'm already like, if 10 years ago, I would be very happy at where I'm at now. So that's,
well, I think you're going to make it in the other sense, commercially successful musician. Cause I see a lot of, if you're willing to play the game, right. Nobody you never said like, I can't wait to make Simlish covers.
Oh yeah.
But you're willing to do it. Like sometimes you got to play what the people like. Let me say this. Here's my musician hot take. Mm-hmm. Can you play the fucking hits? Not you. But when I go to a concert,
can you play the
fucking hits?
Like,
why does this need to be even said? Play the goddamn hits.
I was at the Flognaw concert I went to was the one where Drake got booed. And I was in the pit because they gave us VIP tickets.
Hell yeah.
Real nice. And that's the only time keep in mind, I do not like music festivals. And even in VIP, I was not having a good time. So I can't even imagine what the other people were going through. I mean, granted, I think most people who go to festivals like them. Mm-hmm. But I was, it was Drake was on and like, I wasn't upset. Like I honestly didn't care. I was like, oh, I know who Drake is. And then, cause I listen to 80s music. So I was just happy to know someone. Yeah. And like, I was like, I know some of his hits. And he did one hit and the rest of the songs I didn't know. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. Like, I'm trying to sing along. Like,
play the hits, Drake. I think YTA if you don't play the hits.
I agree. Yeah,
At least 30% hits. I think that's fair. You got to play your fucking new thing.
At least, and you also have to open with a hit. You have to. The hit of hits. You absolutely have to open with a hit of hits.
I think so. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd go to the greatest hit show every time for my favorite bands. Mm-hmm. So your recent single, So Long, is inspired by the worst kind of breakup there is, a friend breakup. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's juicy.
Yeah, it's actually an EP, so it's 3 songs about this person.
Yeah, you had a friend breaky?
Yeah, this is some tea.
This is nuclear. Yeah, go in as much as you'll let us in.
Yeah. So basically, it was a friendship of three.
A trio.
Yeah, trio for like years and years and years, like BFFs, or besties as they say now. And one of them ended up, like, long story short, hacker was hacking the other friend.
Hacking.
Like hacking,
computer hacking,
like
clack,
like for financial gain, or I don't understand.
Or
secrets.
Like catfish accounts, and I don't have closure, so that's why I wrote the CP, because I still do not understand it. And I was never I think the thing in the back of my head is I wasn't, because it didn't happen to me. I wasn't going to like overstep the other friend and talk to the hacker and be like, what? But
the hacker was part of the trio.
The hacker was part of the trio and hacked the other person in the trio. So not me, thankfully. I mean, yet. But
okay, this is wild.
Yeah. So that was hard.
And so the whole trio ended. You're not friends with the hacker or the other person?
Yeah, no, the other person and I think naturally grew apart. Like, because we always had other friends. The other person and I were always like, outside of the friendship, we're always, it's like the kind of person where you see them.
The trio was the thing.
Yeah, and it's like, if you see them after a year, it's like no time has passed, but you don't need to.
You're not really in touch.
You don't need to talk all the time. Yeah, it's exactly. So yes. I have no hard feelings towards that person. But I also think after this awful experience, we both were probably just like, I mean, at least for me, I was like, I need to step away from this whole situation.
It's a relationship altering experience, especially if you were always a trio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a completely...
it's always there. I feel like in the back of your mind is like that person.
Yeah, trio. No, and I've been on about how trios are good. See, I have a weakness. All my friendships are duos. I'm like, I need more trios, maybe some quadros.
Yeah.
I think quinto becomes unstable. It's too many people.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's just a party.
That's just a party. So, but we don't have anything on the hacker. Like, what was the hacker's intent? Like, we got nothing.
I think it was so the third person, the hacker controlling back, like not controlling, but kind of just like, she didn't have much freedom, and I think that she saw maybe in the two of us that there was we had more freedom to move out of the house, and like I moved across the country and she still lived at home. I feel like maybe there was a bit of wanting to, and she was also older, so I feel like all the things I've thought of is like, maybe she wanted to have it. I don't know. Maybe she wanted to live in this world where she could, was younger and had more freedom and could.
And so by hacking, she could
become that person.
Whoa, that's wild.
Online, and like
this is a woman as well.
Yeah,
kind of uncommon, right?
I know.
Women hacking.
Well, and also this person, she would like, pretend, or I guess. I thought that she was like so illiterate with the computer that I was like, when I found this out, I was like, there's absolutely no way.
The hacker.
Yeah. I was like, there's no way this person.
That's genius.
Hacked. Exactly. And it's like, this was all like hearsay for me because I wasn't, the one being hacked. Mm-hmm. But
right.
This was crazy. This all happened my like second to last or last year of college, so that's why I wrote all of these songs, because I was like, I had to do school while dealing with this like end of this very long, very deep friendship.
So the other friend would come to you and be like, my emails are missing, or like, what was the evidence that the hack was happening?
It was like personal conversations on like that were just there, like on
that she hadn't had.
Yeah, that, and like, or stuff like she was
acting as if the hacker was acting as if she was this other girl and conversing with people.
She wouldn't converse. What she would do is that like she hacked her iCloud. So she would get her conversations from texts and post them.
Like her iMessages. Her iMessages. It was sunk. Okay.
Post?
Yeah. Or like, private photos.
Ooh. The hacker would leak, basically.
Yeah.
Leak photos and conversations to what? To Twitter?
Instagram accounts. Like, like I think it was just like under the guise of being someone else. Like, I think that's what she just wanted, to be someone else.
It wasn't destructive.
I mean, well,
it was, but it didn't feel like that was the primary intent.
I don't think that, no, because I don't think that it's like, I feel like sometimes when people do stuff like this, there isn't a reason that we can understand. I think that she like, I don't think that she hated us. I don't think, I think the friendship was real.
Yeah.
But I think that like she just had this thing inside of her that she just.
So some of the leaking was just chaotic then.
Oh yeah.
It didn't seem pointed. It was like, why would they even do this?
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I think everyone was just like, why? And there is no why. Like, no answers.
Yeah.
So
no, I like your read. I like your read.
Yeah.
She was very controlled at home. She had no freedom. And so this was her way of expressing her freedom. And why didn't she hack you? It's because Samara used one capital letter, one number, and one special sign. That's why there's requirements.
And I had two-factor authentication.
Thank you. 2FA.
Yeah.
Put that together.
Do you think that experience has impacted your process in like writing songs like in the future?
Definitely. Because I had to create an ending. And I still have dreams about this person. Like, I still have love for them, obviously.
The hacker.
That's not gonna... The hacker, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like having to end something like myself, like fully, like just me. Like, I don't cut people off. That's like my thing. I don't like, just ghosting. I don't think that's right. But it's like I had to cut this person off. So I feel like this kind of, that experience has, I don't know, it's opened a lot. It's made me think a lot. And in terms of music, it definitely has, there's a lot I have to say about, I guess how that felt. So there's a lot of music coming from that place, which is the EP and more. So.
Well, cool. No, it's great because even though it was a subject that was harrowing and it was sad, and I don't think great art only has to come out of the big sad emotions, but it's good that you're grounded enough, that you're connected to yourself, like you understand yourself enough that you were able to create something with it. Like you were able to take that energy and create something positive with it.
Yeah, that, because I remember thinking, I was like, this is going to be very hard. Like when I found out that she was a hacker, because obviously not going to be friends with this person anymore, but that was so hard to to like accept and be like, okay, we move on.
Like we must, this is going to be a journey to take on.
Literally, I was like, this is going to be a long journey. And I remember the day I finally like removed her from my Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I'm doing her a disservice by keeping her on here, because maybe giving her the illusion that I'm open to still be friends. And I did it. And it was like a wave of relief.
Did you communicate that you were going to like block her?
And that is why I think it's kind of haunted me, is because I don't like to not communicate if something goes wrong, but because the person who was hacked didn't want me to. It's not, I felt like it wasn't my place to tell her what she had done, even though at the same time it was also,
it affected you.
It affected me. I didn't want to put them in, even though I kind of was put in the middle, which my song Stuck in the Middle on So Long is about. I was kind of thrown into the middle of this. I didn't want to do that back and potentially cause.
I'm relieved though. I have had a few nightmares about someone that I blocked without a lot of explanation. Not none, but the thing is too, it's like, how much are you gonna explain?
It's like
if they're not receptive to it. Yeah, exactly. It's like kind of scary.
Yeah, because I think both of us were kind of like, we know what she would say, and she wouldn't. Like, we would never get a "I'm sorry, I did this." Because I think if she had admitted to it,
owned it,
it would have ended differently.
That's good, but that's relieving to me though, because I'm like, okay, so it just is. It's unsettling. I mean, it's an unsettling thing, and sometimes you just like, what is there to say? But it's like, maybe, I don't know. I guess we want closure.
Yeah.
But here's the thing too. One of the conversations I regret the most was in a past relationship. The closure conversation, not closing at all, reopening many new wounds. And I was like, I should have never had that conversation. Yeah.
It just made it worse.
So much worse. Yeah. No, that's the thing. These people can be hostile too,
Exactly.
They'll start taking shots at you.
Yeah. And like, that's not what anyone wants to deal with. So
Damn, that's kind of cathartic, though. Good to know you're haunted
Definitely.
by your past as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So good to have you on the show. We're going to do a couple of situations here. Our second story of the day, AITA for asking for a morning off from my baby on the weekends. But first, people, it's AITA for taking back our groceries that my wife gave to her sister. My wife, 30, has a younger sister, 28, with 4 kids. My sister-in-law is a married stay-at-home mom, and her husband, 31, works 35 hours per week. Okay. Money is tight for them, but they still go on annual vacations, drive newer cars, etc. My wife and I keep separate finances except for a joint credit card and household bill. A couple years ago, I found out my wife had been buying grocery for my sister-in-law on our joint card, about $200 per month for a few months. She said that her sister had come to her saying they were tight on cash and that she needed help feeding their kids about a month after they had got back from their most recent vacay. I told my wife that I'm not supporting their family. She argued with me saying that we could more than afford it. I replied that I don't care if she wanted to support them, but that's her business. My wife stopped buying them groceries on our joint card. In the last few months, grocery costs have been increasing. As a cost-saving measure, my wife and I split the cost of a whole cow. Is that literal?
A whole cow, an entire cow. Like you can purchase one.
That's okay. That's literal.
Oh.
Okay. That's a lot of meat. Okay. Yesterday, I checked our security cameras and saw my wife leaving the house with a big box. I texted her demanding to know if she had taken a bunch of our meat to sister-in-law, and she replied, yes. I grabbed sister-in-law's keys, knocked on her door when sister-in-law answered. I told that I was taking back what my wife brought over. Sister-in-law protested, saying I was taking food out of her kids' mouths. I said, I don't care. She already had one roast in the oven. I went to their freezer, and they had 50 pounds of ground beef, steaks, and roast from our cow. Okay, so it was
From our cow.
Including a couple prime rib roasts. I grabbed it all except the roast in the oven and drove home. My wife yelled at me saying she couldn't believe how selfish I was and that sister-in-law called her crying. She also said she paid for half of it and she could do whatever she liked. I yelled back saying, you don't get to decide to give away anything that we pay for together, and said she acted like a sneak thief for doing it behind my back. My wife is still angry at me and says until I apologize to her sister, return the meat that I took back, and apologize for calling her a thief, she won't speak to me. I may be the asshole because my wife pays half the groceries. AITA.
I'm really having a lovely image of this man just like yelling through the sister-in-law's house, like grabbing a box of meat and leaving. But regardless, I don't know. I feel like they share the cow. They went in halvesies on this cow. I do think that his wife needs to set some boundaries with her sister. 100%. She's being incredibly generous. But if it's from their split thing,
Yeah.
like they bought it together, does he really have 100% say in it?
Yeah, I feel like it has to be compromised.
She shouldn't have been behind his back.
Absolutely.
That's
And
like
she has a history, Lily. That's my issue here. I know it's hard to be on the side of the guy who's mad at the people who are apparently not eating, but she also did put money on that joint card. That wasn't
that's
fair.
Where I'm troubled.
That wasn't fair.
That's where I'm troubled.
Yeah.
It's the joint one and the not communicating about the joint one. That is troublesome.
That's disrespect.
That's just also like a lot of meat.
It's so much.
Like, do you need?
You don't.
I mean,
need
maybe
that
it's because I'm vegan and I've never actually had to buy meat for myself or like for a family. But that feels like a cow. You know, that's a lot.
It's and
it must be expensive.
It's a ton.
Yeah.
Like 4K, like average-ish.
Really?
Like
$4,000 for a cow?
That's what he said.
So you buy a
4K.
cow.
You buy a physical cow. I think it's from a farm, like, and you have it butchered.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
okay.
I think that's what you do.
No, I've heard of that. I just didn't know
never
what
heard
the
of
price
that.
range was.
yes, that's 4K.
Yep, he said 4K.
$4,000. How many pounds? Yeah.
He said 4K, and it equated to about $9 a pound.
So how
what's the
long-
math on that?
$9 a pound?
That's what he said.
Okay, I got a cheaper alternative. It's called chicken, honey. What are you talking about?
No, yeah, I feel like if you're gonna buy groceries for someone else using your joint card with your husband, get the cheaper groceries. You know, like if you're gonna do it, at least like don't get a whole you know. I don't
And also
know,
like communicate about it, because especially if it's your joint credit card, I'm assuming you're both looking at the statements.
yeah, like it's
it's
I think
shared.
so. You got caught doing this. I mean, you look bad.
Like
yeah.
It's betrayal.
No,
It's not
because it's
okay.
like it's like the truth is gonna come out. You have joint bank statements, like you have a joint
really
card.
damn
Why not
stupid.
just say what you want to do? Like, why not just have a conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I'm trying to apply this to myself. You know, there's a couple of situations that, you know, I think I would give someone $200 once but I would start to crack down pretty hard and be like, I'll give you an interest-free loan, but like, I'm not gonna just give money away. Because like I do understand OP's kind of like gripes here because look, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You're spending more than you make, and like you can't afford to be kind of, you know, fronting that shit. I mean, you're pretty irresponsible if you're spending more than you make, and then it's coming back to the food budget. Maybe the budget orders need to change.
Like maybe let's put food at number one.
Let's put food for the kids at number one. I think that's toward the top there.
Fed. Yeah, that's pretty much a top priority. Over the new car.
Yeah. It's like, do you really need a new car? That's the thing. It's like,
he said newer, but yeah, I mean,
wow. I mean,
I think that can be very much rich people being like, oh, the poors. I noticed the poor people have a new TV and a car, and it's like, well, yeah, but it's not actually that economical, especially now, to buy a used car.
That's so
like,
true.
I have a new car.
Yeah, and then the new car will last you a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't completely see eye to eye there, but I am just a little bit like, we're at the point where we're asking for food and not money. That's like a little bit like, that's manipulative. Help me with my credit card debt. You know, I don't know. I just feel like to be like, my kids won't eat unless you give me money. It's like, aren't you pulling on my heartstrings right away?
Don't throw your kids into it.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah, it is much for the sister-in-law to say, like, quote, you're taking food out of our kids' mouths.
Pretty entitled.
No, but you didn't actually provide any. What did you do to provide it aside from, like you said, pull on the heartstrings of the sister?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, what are you saying? The sister didn't provide it? The sister-in-law didn't provide it?
Yeah, because the sister-in-law is insinuating that by OP husband being like, this isn't yours, this is ours, I'm taking my like a zillion pounds of steak. Like they didn't provide, like I was saying, it is a low shot. It's like to say something like that to him, that you're taking food out of our kids' mouths. Like, lady, you got to provide it.
I don't really like his approach though. In the end, I don't.
I don't care.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Like if that were me, I obviously wouldn't like, you know, the situation. I wouldn't I don't think, you know, I get how he would feel like they maybe were taking advantage of his money. Like, obviously. Yeah. However, I don't know. I'm not here for the storming in the house and grabbing, you know, like
that's
I feel
not
like
okay.
There's a better way of handling.
That's not okay.
Yes. It feels like very aggressive.
Extremely aggressive. I would even go as far to say as traumatizing.
Oh, those kids are going to remember
exactly.
this.
That's how they remember this man.
It's a core memory.
Yes,
Yeah. Like,
absolutely. Unhinged, not necessary, huge escalation. Also, maybe they are being manipulative, but this is not on them. This is on them. It's on the wife and the husband, not the sister-in-law.
Yeah, because, okay, think about it. If you're the sister-in-law and this person is like, okay, I'll give you groceries, you're not going to say no.
Yeah.
Like, the wife is, like, giving them groceries. You have to, like, it's her. She's the one doing it. Like,
yes.
They're not, you can't really blame them.
The trust who was violated was between the wife and the husband.
Yeah, it's the issues between them.
Exactly. So stealing the meat, that for me is automatically game over, wildly inappropriate. Escalation, just completely the wrong move on every level. Mm-hmm. Top comment, Queen of Damage Goods. I think sister-in-law is lying to your wife. They take vacations. How does your wife not see that she is playing her? Next, if she is really hurting for food, there is help out there. NTA, but you shouldn't have called your wife a thief. She was, in her mind, helping. Well, yeah, why call her a thief?
Oh, that's mean.
That's mean.
It's not.
It's childish.
Yeah. It's like those people who, when they get mad at someone, they say things they regret. And it's like, that's like not a really normal thing to do, is to just like spew out insults every time you get mad.
I disagree. I think it's highly normal, but highly unacceptable.
Yeah.
So I think we ultimately do agree. Yeah. I mean, that's name calling. You're calling her a thief.
Yeah. It's
she
not nice.
is potentially one who did. She didn't really steal. And it is plausible to hear your side, Lily, that the steaks and meat and shit that she gave away was simply part of her half. And so then he had zero right. Ostensibly, you said what?
It's a conversation. more so.
Yes.
Like, it's not like I paid for half and you paid for half, so I get X amount of pounds and you get X amount of pounds, because they're trying to provide for their family. But for the fact that they split the cow, I feel like his reaction was too nuclear. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes. Yeah, it's not like it was like he bought all the groceries with his own money, like totally himself, and then she went behind it. You know, it's still behind his back. It still should have been communicated. However, it was definitely blown up.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Top dissenting comment, mighty might, ESH, YTA for the way you treated your wife. Your wife is the asshole for going behind your back. Sister-in-law is the asshole for exploiting her sister's love and generosity while not making any sacrifices herself. I see divorce in the futures. Marriages with mine versus hers mentality are doomed from the start. That's fair, but I don't know if I'm ready. I don't love sister-in-law. I feel like she's up to something shady, but I think it's very easy to be judgmental. And the fact that they go on an annual vacation, once a year, drive newer cars, not new. These are not necessarily the hallmarks of irresponsibility.
Yes.
It's like not like they're going away every month to fancy hotel, you know. It's like an annual. I think they're allowed an annual vacation.
I think so.
It's like, oh no,
I think so.
They bought a house to house those 4 kids and they have to pay down their mortgage.
Right.
God forbid.
like they're so selfish.
Yeah, how could they?
Yeah.
And without seeing so much into it, I just see what he did as so much more of an escalation. Mm-hmm. He went into their house. It's like breaking and entering. It's so violating. It's just so unnecessarily aggressive.
And, you know, like she said, oh, you're taking food from my kids. I do not think that was, you know.
No.
Yeah, but I also at the same time kind of I feel like in a sense I kind of understand, like he is physically coming in, like barreling into their house.
He's acting like a caveman.
Yes, exactly. So it's like at the same time it's like, well,
meat mine.
Yeah.
Man take meat. It's like primal and cavemanish, and it's unacceptable behavior.
Yeah.
I think in the end, though, there is a pretty bad, and to be fair, it was a big strike too, at least on his side, because at this point, even if she is doing it on her own side of things, I think she did owe him some transparency.
Yes.
Given that she did, quote unquote, steal prior.
Right.
You know, that doesn't mean his reaction is acceptable, but he definitely had a right to be pissed.
They should have had a conversation. Like, regardless, this all could have been solved by just some communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel like everything has to be done separately.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna, I feel like the wife maybe feels like she has to hide it because of how her husband acts.
I mean, maybe he might do, because coming from someone who lived with someone like that, like really scary and angry.
Yeah.
It's, you want to, once it happens and you notice that it's a thing, you kind of just want to figure out how to not have that happen.
That's a great read.
So
you eggshell walk.
You have to walk because you have to protect yourself. So we don't know. We only know his side. And granted, you know, that's the whole point, is that we do, you know,
But this was a caveman reaction.
But it was a caveman reaction. And cavemen, you can't always reason with them. So
no, you can't. They're terrible reasoners.
Yeah.
AITA for taking back our groceries that my wife gave to her sister. Honestly, I could call it an ESH, but I'm almost ready to just go right to YTA, because I think he is far, far out of line to go to someone's house and raid their fridge. It's like childish.
Think of like
animalistic.
if someone walked into my house and started taking from my fridge, even if it was gifted food, I don't think I'd be in my right state of mind to think of like, oh, you're taking food. Yeah, like I'd be like, oh, is that the right thing to say? Should I say he's taking from my children? I feel like I would say something like that. Like,
it's violating.
It's violating your
and criminal, by the way. Like, he would not look good if they called the cops.
Yeah,
it
wouldn't hold up in court.
Oh, it's my cow.
Sure.
He's like,
it's
well,
my cow.
I paid for the cow. It's like,
sure it is.
You're gonna be like, okay, sir, come with us.
Yeah, exactly.
I left them the roast in the oven. I took everything else. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
Well, it was hot. That's why
everything except the
roast. He was like
roast.
thinking about taking the roast. He was like, I almost grabbed it, but
Grab it out, throw it on top of the box. I'm leaving.
he like ate it with like right then and there.
Fistfuls of prime rib in the car.
You weren't being charitable. It was impractical to grab the roast. Let's be honest.
Exactly. He didn't bring his Tupperware.
All right, guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. AITA for asking for a morning off from my baby on the weekends. My wife and I have a 6-month-old baby girl. She's mostly a stay-at-home mother. She works 2 half days a week, and her sister watches the baby. Now, I work full-time and go to school 1 day a week. We've always had an arrangement where she takes care of the household duties, cooking, cleaning, and now baby care, while I happily support her monetarily. Honestly, we're both living our dream, and my wife does an absolutely spectacular job taking care of me and our little ones. On the weekends, we share baby duty. We usually make sure each of us gets our own alone time to do whatever we want. However, our girl has hit a bit of a sleep regression, waking up every 2 hours since my wife breastfeeds. She's always taking care of the baby full-time overnight. Now, she's a light sleeper and unfortunately has insomnia, whereas I'm a deep sleeper and wouldn't wake up for baby cries anyway. Recently, my wife has been asking me to wake up with the baby both days on the weekend so she can get an extra hour of sleep. Baby wakes up around 7. I get the baby dressed and take over for that hour. But sometimes I want to be the one that gets to sleep in an extra hour. I brought this up to her and she says, well, she's happy to let me nap during the day. She really needs that hour because she can't nap like I can. We got into an argument about it and she said I'm being very insensitive when I know she is very exhausted and can't nap during the day, and she struggles going back to sleep every time the baby wakes up. But I'm exhausted too. Work wears me out and school days are long, and I sometimes want the hour in the morning. I don't want to spend my off time napping. I want to play video games and chill out. I mean, OP. I've gotten mixed opinions on who is in the wrong here, or if there is even anyone in the wrong. AITA for asking us to share mornings off for sleep.
May I ding on the fact that he's like, I work full time and she's a stay-at-home mom. Like, that's not a very, very draining job, essentially.
I guess I was a little confused. He provides monetarily. Who goes to school 1 day a week?
He does.
She works 2 half days a week. 2 half days. So 1 whole day, we could call that.
She works 1 day a week.
And he works full time and goes to school 1 day a week. That's kind of a lot.
But
us being a stay-at-home
being
mom,
a mom,
you don't have like
Yeah.
time off. You don't have a lunch break.
Especially, like, how old's the baby again? Like 6 months?
Oh, geez.
That's teeny.
No, that's a lot.
That's teeny. You cannot let that thing out of your sight for a second.
You don't get a break.
That's an enormous responsibility.
You got to bring that to the bathroom. Like,
literally, that's why they do the little papusa things.
Yeah, the papusa thing, yeah. I guess, I mean, I was kind of with OP. I guess I thought he might have something of a case here, but it's really this one line, I think, that just ended it all for me. He says, I don't want to spend my off time napping. I want to play video games and chill out.
yeah.
Grow up, bro.
So wait, yeah, because I didn't know that was what was being pitted against here. It's like, okay, so you can totally get all the sleep later, but then you won't get to play your video games. Like,
boo-hoo.
whereas
Like,
she has,
I don't want to nap.
like-
That's what it sounds like to me.
yeah, no, that's
It's like,
it.
I don't want to go to bed.
Literally.
I want to play video games.
I don't want it. Like, truly,
Yeah,
you're acting like you're a 6-month-old.
yeah.
But worse.
Video games do not trump
I'm
wife
sure
sleep.
she would.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like, also, this is like the kid is gonna eventually sleep better. It's gonna.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a brand new baby. You're still
brand
getting
new
adjusted
baby.
to
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And there does have to be a little give and take. And like
Yeah.
you said, she has to be on baby duty all night because even if you wanted to, you're not waking up because
Right.
you're such a deep sleeper. She wakes up like that. She can't fall back asleep. Come on, buddy. There's got to be a little give and take while you're still like this baby's still so teeny.
fresh.
It's so fresh. It's
Yeah.
not even a toddler. This is
Yeah.
an infant.
As someone who I cannot go back to sleep. It takes me so long to go back to sleep.
Absolutely.
Like I would be infuriated if someone was like, I literally sleep like a rock, but like I need more.
I need more, and I
What?
don't want to nap
I
later.
don't want to nap.
I want to play Call of Duty.
Oh God.
I just play Fallout games. That's the only series
I
I
went
really
back
play.
to The Sims 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
Vintage.
Vintage.
That's work though.
Which is
For you,
great.
that's work, girl.
Right. No, yeah, it's I really can't relax. I'm always thinking
I'm
of
learning
new
Simlish.
content. I'm
Yeah.
picking up on the words.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's great. I'm having a great time.
I think we got nothing on this, guys. I mean, the only thing I could say, and I think this is about you, Lily, because you, in my mind, you have this brutal schedule where you don't really have a weekend. I think people need a weekend. So that was going to be the best I could do for him, is like, it just feels good to have one day at least. I think people really need two, where you kind of don't got to do nothing. Whereas she does have that, even though she is always being a mom, it's a little bit closer for her because he has 6 days of obligations, like hard obligations.
Well, obligations to be at certain places in certain
That's
times.
what I mean. Yeah, structure.
Yes,
Hard structure.
But she has
so many obligations too.
I would,
Totally.
like, I feel like it's so much.
And cooking and cleaning the house.
Yeah.
And doing all their
It's a
laundry.
lot.
Like she does, like think about the things you do for yourself. Like you go grocery shopping, you clean your house, you do laundry. So she's doing all of that for 3 people with an infant strapped to her.
That's true. She's
and then
cooking,
going to work
cleaning,
2
and
days
now-
a
yeah,
week,
you're right.
but for limited hours. Like it's not all day, but she is physically,
It's one
she
day,
does
yeah.
have obligations 2 days a week to other people.
And she doesn't even have her nights. She doesn't even have
She doesn't
full
have nights.
sleep.
She has to be emotionally, because she can't really nap very well during the day.
Because
she has
during the
baby.
week, you're right. During the week, she's on baby duty. So this is really her only opportunity at a true weekend. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she can't sleep. So
And again, like, this is temporary. The baby will get older and will eventually go to preschool. And, you know, like, it's like, if you are having a baby, I feel like you need to be able to not play your video games for a few months, you know? Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
you'll be
it's
okay.
not for-
yeah, like,
Forever.
you'll be fine.
Yes,
You'll
the,
be fine.
The
There's-
kid's a life sentence, but these circumstances certainly are not.
Exactly.
Well, I think we all agree wholeheartedly on this. It's a no-brainer. AITA for asking morning off for my baby on the weekends. We're saying whopping YTA, you video gaming bro. Please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon. Over 130 bonus episodes. And we got a vibrant Discord community and all the goods. We'd love to see you there. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this up here. This is a juicy one. I'm excited about it. AITA for kissing my neighbor's husband and getting upset with her when she confronted me about it. Our neighborhood was having a little dinner party over the weekend with a group of us. We were having a good time reminiscing about our high school selves. I talked about how I was a cheerleader in high school. I and my neighbor's husband, Todd, sarcastically complained about being a band geek who was always rejected by the cheerleaders. We were all laughing as he continued to host a pity party for himself. I finally said, "Oh, for God's sake, here's a kiss on behalf of all the cheerleaders who rejected you," and planted a quick peck on his lips. He pretended to faint. Everyone had a good laugh. It was really a riot. Of note, both of us are happily married to other people. Our families are good friends. There's absolutely no romantic interest there whatsoever on either side. The night continued onward without issue, or so I thought. The next morning, I got a furious phone call from Todd's wife, Renee. She told me she felt very uncomfortable with me kissing her husband and didn't say anything at the time because she didn't want to cause a stink at the party. But she really felt I crossed a line and wasn't sure if our friendship could recover. I told her she needed to lighten up. It was just a joke and not intended to be a romantic gesture. Okay? She doubled down and told me she couldn't believe I wasn't seeing her side of things. I see no harm done. Todd wasn't uncomfortable. My husband wasn't uncomfortable. And everyone at the party thought it was hilarious, except Renee. This is really just the sense of humor in our friend group. The phone call did not end amicably, and we haven't spoken since. So AITA for kissing Todd and not apologizing to Renee when she told me it upset her.
I just love how she comes hot out of the gate with like, it didn't bother me. It didn't bother my husband. It didn't bother her husband.
If only there was one other relevant party.
Yeah. Right.
I also would like to know more about the sense of humor in the friend group where this is like a funny little joke.
And I need to say, I hate this friend group. They did not put ages here, and I think I know why. Why the hell are you talking about high school right now? How old are you?
Yeah.
How the fuck old are you?
you?
You have way more work in the weather is more fucking fun than that.
Right.
Like that's crazy. How have you not done anything more like
It's like those
surmountable
people who
in your life?
peaked in high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. These are lame, uncool people.
Oh, yeah.
Like these are that's why
think so.
I hate this friend group right out the gate.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't get to when someone says, "Hey, this thing you did that hurt me, it hurt me. And I'd like to find some equal footing." You can't turn around and do like the Real Housewife thing and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry you felt that way from the thing that I said." Like you can't do that. There needs to be a little owning it.
No, like also like why did it have to be a kiss on the lips? I feel like
What a weird move.
You know, that is not like it's not normal.
It's not normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal to like, I'm imagining she like grabbed his face with like both hands, not in a romantic way, but in one of those like splayed fingers, like just palms on the cheek, like that kind of thing. But still, it's weird. It's a bizarre first move.
It could have even been a stage kiss, you know? Like, I feel like, with the thumbs.
The
like,
thumbs over the lip.
Oh, is that the secret there? Oh, I didn't know about that.
In high school, it is.
Yeah, high school plays. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the best I can really say is that the joke did hit, according to OP's account. Right. So it was apparently a funny joke.
It was like nervous laughter. Everyone was like,
I think you're right. I think you're right. It's too much.
It didn't kill. Everyone was like, oh, that's so funny. You played the saxophone and you were a cheerleader.
No, I bet everybody at that party was actually like, they left. They were like, okay, that was a lot. That's a lot. That was something.
Yeah, I think if it had been a peck on the cheek,
that's one thing.
I think that would be this would be a different thing.
Yeah.
Even though I would still say that, you know, I was telling Lily about this earlier, you know, I'm Cuban and you know, kissing on the cheek flies, totally normal. You know, you say hi to someone you don't know. With a bunch of, I'm picturing these people are white because they're Todd and Renee's. So
talking about high school at a dinner party.
Yeah. Like,
seems like a white person thing to do.
I would say that it's still pretty valid because it is unusual. You're not going to kiss someone on the cheek in, you know, white people culture or lack thereof.
Lack thereof. Like, we have tailgates.
Yeah, tailgates. So you're not going to do that at a tailgate.
No, you're not.
You're not. So,
you won't.
Like, it's just not really a thing. Even the softer version of this isn't a thing. And I think she had every right to be like, yeah, I didn't like that. It's obviously a betrayal. It's a line cross.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, I feel like it makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't just it also wasn't private or like among the three of you. It was in front of a whole group of people.
Yep.
And it was a little bit of a public fuck you.
That would be so embarrassing. Like, imagine like everyone looks at the wife and they're like, oh, so what you gonna
They're like,
do?
we're all now gonna look at your reaction to see how we should be reacting.
Right. And then I also get like not wanting to freak out and like,
she did the right thing.
Because you also like she could have frozen. Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, she probably did freeze.
Yeah, she's probably like,
wow, that
she's
happened.
like, okay, I can fight and create a situation which I'm not bound to win because I'm obviously emotional.
Right.
So I'm gonna look crazy.
And of course, everyone is gonna be like, well, you're being too.
It was just a joke.
Why are you taking it so serious?
Right. Well, people try to disarm it.
Of
you
course.
know. But that will play hostile to you. Yeah, you're right about that. So it's what is it? Fight, flight. She can run. She's not going to run.
Yeah.
So she froze. She did nothing. She actually did the right thing.
She did the right thing.
Yeah.
She did the right thing. She did not do anything to interrupt like the party atmosphere, if that makes sense. Because I bet like she went home, like they got like she gritted her teeth through the rest of the party, like tried to have a laugh, tried to have fun. And in the car ride home, she was like, Todd, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Todd. And he's like, I didn't think. And she's like, dude, that really sucked. Like I would probably not even like lay into my like husband for it, but I'd be like, dude, can we have a freaking conversation about that? Like,
well, also on his end, imagine like he probably wasn't expecting her to kiss him. I mean, I'd hope
Who
so.
would?
Like,
No, it's
like
unhinged.
because then it's like if she just grabbed him and kissed him like that, I'm sure everyone was surprised.
yes.
Like, oh, so weird.
It's just such
It's bizarre,
what kind of person do you have to be for that to be the first fucking joke?
right?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like inflammatory, but I can't conceptualize that being done in any room and it being normal.
Yeah.
It was just a joke culture, really. It's usually with a man saying something that's transphobic, but like this is the same thing where it's like, well, no, that wasn't a joke. That actually was a 0% a joke. It was actually a violation of boundaries where you used a sign of affection reserved for a partner on my partner. What was the joke exactly? That you've decided it didn't count for anything? Well, you decided that, but I didn't.
Yes.
Because I was the victim.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's whenever people say it was just a joke, it's like, all you're saying is the consequences. I don't believe there should be consequences to this. That's really all you're saying.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
What was the joke?
I was doing a thing that was fun for me, and I don't think you should hold me responsible whatsoever. That's what OP essentially said back to Renee. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, we all thought it was funny. You should have. Like, no.
It's like a mean girl thing. Like,
exactly.
It just feels it's like...
It's not how that works. It's not how interactions work.
No.
It's not how building relationships work.
No, it's not.
That I think you're onto something with that. I think there's a status play here, and that is what's mean girly about it. It's like, fuck you. I am the queen of this friend group, and I'll do whatever I want.
Because I was a cheerleader in high school.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about it at 43 years old. I don't know how old she is.
I'm sure she's 43.
This seems like some late 30s, mid 40s shit to me.
Yeah, it's because like that was probably the most exciting time in her life is being a cheerleader in high school.
She peaked there.
Because what's she doing now? She didn't even
kissing other people's husbands as a joke.
Did find a dissenting comment here. Potato Plan 5837. I'm sure.
I had to search.
You're not the asshole for giving him a quick peck, but YTA for not taking her feelings into account. So it's not even. Everybody saw this for what it was. I mean, there's no way around this. You can't just kiss someone.
I don't even. Yeah, I feel like this. How can this even be real? How? Of course you're in the asshole.
Like the amount of self-centeredness for her to not even see past herself enough. She's like, it was my funny joke. I don't get why. Am I the villain? Like, I don't get why everyone's vilifying me.
Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I just.
Yeah.
It's wild. Man. I just lack of God, I'm stuttering because I'm just when people can't see past themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know how to take them seriously as humans. I don't know how to interact with them. And I feel like it makes life so difficult because you're just so wound up within.
And that's what you will. And that's what we've learned is that you don't. And
yeah.
then you do have a nightmare. You got to pay the nightmare tax.
Exactly.
This is how our brains punish us.
you pay the nightmare tax for those people. Yeah.
It's not bad though. It's like once, maybe twice a year.
Yeah, it's not
like
too
constant.
often. It's not like chronic, you know.
No.
So it's definitely dealable.
I was gonna make a tax joke about California and also like the amount of wild people that are here that I encounter. But
Right. AITA for kissing my neighbor's husband and getting upset with her when she confronted me about it. I think this is a humongous, enormous YTA for kissing, YTA for getting upset with her, YTA for low-key gaslighting, YTA for being a narcissist. I just go
and YTA for still talking about high school. I'm furious.
Honestly,
you're so upset about that.
I think it's so dumb. Move on. And this is coming from someone who didn't have a terrible high school experience. Like, I had a fine time in high school, but you don't hear me regaling tales about it.
I think there's something a little strange about, like, yearning for a time where you're, like, a child and, like, living at home with your
undeveloped.
parents.
Your brain is, like, you are legally insane because of your frontal lobe.
And, like your hormones are insane. Like, I don't feel like that's a good time to...
you have no good skill sets to deal with anything.
Yeah, you can't...
She's still using those same skill sets.
Yeah.
True.
She's still utilizing them. Wow, I just realized that in real time.
I just hung out with a friend from high school, and he's like one of the funniest people I know who's not like a comedian. And we hung out for like an hour, and I was like, this guy's funny. I forgot about how much fun this is. But then after that, he was just being like straight up mean to me. And it was just me and him.
Oh.
I was like, you're just being straight up mean to me. There's no one even here to make laugh.
Right.
And I was like, I forgot that you're like you're like a trio friend or a quadro friend.
Yeah.
You're not really a lone friend.
Oh man.
Yeah, some people are not alone friends.
They're not.
Because some people get mean.
Yeah.
Because some people, again, it doesn't make it okay. And when they're not doing it to make other people laugh, they're doing it to make themselves feel better, which is really depressing.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's really depressing.
It's like, why don't you feel good in the first place? Like, what are you trying to make yourself feel better from?
Yeah, exactly. Because you grasp at straws when like they're just making fun of you for like really random things.
Yeah.
That, like, you're like, that's not even something I should feel bad about. What are we talking about, dude?
Right.
Why are we doing this?
You're just a hater.
Yeah, like you're just
a hater.
You're just hating. So bad.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Samara.
Wow. Should have left the Pino up there.
Samara. Thank you so much, Samara. I am so sorry. I am trying my best. Guys, please follow her on TikTok. Check out the Simlish covers. We'll put the link in the description. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm scared to look you in the eyes right now because I think I might be blushing.
Where can we hear your music? You're on Spotify. You're on Apple Music,
Amazon, Tidal, anywhere you find music.
Tidal. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
She's on Tidal, folks.
She's on Tidal.
YouTube, literally anywhere you listen to music, you can find me at Samara Bradley. my latest release is an EP called So Long, which we've been talking about quite a bit.
That's the hacker.
That's the hacker. So if you want the tea on the hacker, listen to the EP.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.